Hi, I'm Andromeda Trumbull. We're at Pilates Sports Center in Los Angeles, California, and here with me today is Natalie Boutte. We're going to be working on some shoulder work for a specific condition of kyphosis, which would be a postural issue if Natalie was to be rounded in her shoulders with a forward head carriage. This would make things somewhat weak and somewhat tight in some areas of her body. So if she's in this posture, and this posture can happen very commonly for somebody who commutes and works at a desk job, what have you, she would probably have a little bit of forward head carriage, and this would lead her to become sort of tight in the front of her body and her chest, and long and when weaker in her posterior part of her spine and her shoulders. So we're going to work on some strengthening exercises to bring her back into a normal posture to keep the shoulder healthy so that the shoulder isn't migrating forward in its joint and anterior superior in its joint as well. So what we're going to do first are some external rotator muscle exercises using the band. So she's going to be using the TheraBand, gathering the band up in her hands. Good. We're going to start with the palms up and what we call teacups. So cueing as if she were holding teacups so that she didn't rotate her hands in any way. Give yourself a little bit more space between the hands. So she's going to be about a natural shoulder width apart with her hands. And we're going to have her sit nice and tall. You can do this sitting, kneeling, standing, wherever is comfortable for the client. Get the shoulder in the proper position first. So shoulders are going to rotate back and down. Good. And she doesn't have to do anything except externally rotate, cueing the thumbs back and slow return. Most of the firing is going to happen that's important in the rear part of the movement. So that muscle we're honing in on is her infraspinatus in her shoulder blade, and she'll feel that the most in the rear part of the exercise. We want to stay there for a minute and bring it back out slowly. Are you feeling where I'm palpating right here? I'm palpating the lower part of her shoulder blade. Good. So we can do a number of reps here. You want to get a nice burn going. Yeah. So those are our teacups, and now we're just going to change the hand position to a candle position. So you can rotate the band whichever way is comfortable in your hands. If you want to give yourself a little more room or roll it around your hand, whatever is comfy. Yeah, that'll be great. Not too tight? All right, same exercise, maintaining the thumbs facing up. She wants to rotate those thumbs out. We're going to keep them facing up. So yeah, give yourself as much slack as you need. And the same cueing, the shoulders back and down. We're still cueing the same infraspinatus. She's working the teres minor as well. So these are fabulous, easily done at home, traveling, what have you. And again, the same number of reps to get a nice burn. Love it. Okay. Let's do a couple of stretches now. So we're going to stretch the anterior part of the problem area with this posture, which is going to be pecs and chest. So she can now take her band nice and wide apart with the hands, palms down. I'm going to get out of your way. And we're going to take this band all the way overhead comfortably, all the way around to the lower spine. And if the band is too tight and you can't accomplish that, you just give yourself a little more room. And if it's too easy, well, then we need to tighten it up. So we're going to do this a number of times. And you should feel like it's challenging and that there's a good stretch happening right about the zone, right about here, right behind the head. Good. So this is going to chest stretch in all of these fiber directions since the pec is so multidimensional. And you don't want to do this if this is causing any pain in any way in the joint. So this is fantastic. And again, easy to do. You can use a towel if you don't have access to a band. Okay. Excellent. Take a rest. Now we're going to move on to some standing work, one shoulder exercise that we're going to do, which is a bit isometric in nature, and then a standing stretch as well. So we're going to change position. Okay, so we've worked the external rotators of the shoulder to start to facilitate the alignment, and now we're going to work on the lower traps, which also tend to be weak and allow the shoulder to migrate forward. So we're going to work those muscles now. She's leaning against the wall with a foam roller behind her shoulder blades approximately, and I'm going to have her bring her arms up to try to get her forearms on the roller. This could be challenging. So I'm going to have you go ahead and apply some pressure on your forearms onto the roller, and then move your body off of the roller so the only thing now touching are the forearms. Good. She can be a little bit stepped away from the wall. Tuck the tail, soften the knees a little bit so we don't bother your back. She should now be hopefully firing her lower traps. Shoulders are back and down. She's going to connect into this work in her lower traps and just microscopically roll up and roll back down. The pressure that she's exerting on the roller with her forearms should fire the proper muscles. Does this feel pretty challenging? Actually, it is. And if you don't have a roller, go ahead and relax. I'm going to take the roller away from you. Good. And you can just go back into that same stick-up position, we'll call it, and go ahead and lean against the wall with that. Good. And just holding that position on the wall and pulling the shoulder blades back and down should pretty much fire in the same area. And if you just hold this for a few moments, you'll get the same active work. And relax. So then we're going to go into our very last stretch, which would be done ideally in a doorway. We're going to pretend this is our doorway corner here. And she's going to put her right hand on the wall. So you're just going to turn and put the right hand on the wall as if it was a doorway. We're going to do this 3 times. Once at shoulder level. Yep. Once at about jaw level, and then the last time at eye level. And again, we want to get every fiber of the pec muscle group to be stretched out. So we're going to start down here low, and she's just going to press a stretch forward into that. And if she was in a doorway, she'd be pulling on the door jamb. And hopefully we could get both done at the same time. And then coming back up, and then slightly higher to jaw level, same exercise or stretch. And if you're uncomfortable with this and you're not steady on your feet, you can always step 1 foot forward. And then the last stretch and lean in. Fantastic. Good. So this is a very simple remedy for some shoulder stability and postural work to do our external rotator work, some lower trap work, and all of the stretches. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.